you could do me a real big favor, everybody bring someone with them for tryouts. We got to keep this little clam bake going for a good many more years because everybody makes this show work, especially you.
The Monsignor Schnacky Community Players are an ever-changing theater group with members from all walks of life. Each member brings something special to the table and to the Schnacky family. But how exactly did it get started?
Both Kathy and I have described him as probably the most Christ-like human being we've ever met. No one could say no to Monsignor. He loved everybody. One unique thing, he had a German shepherd named Heidi, and Heidi was his pal. You know, they were side by side 24/7. During Mass on Sundays, Heidi would sleep over on at the side of the altar. But when it was time for communion, Monsignor would go out to give communion and Heidi would come up and sit right beside him and just watch the whole procession. Heidi was at our wedding when Monsignor married us, and we bought a house in Bristol, moved to Bristol. We had the priest for dinner one night and discussion, gee, how did you folks meet? Oh, doing community theater with Penfield Players. The next week, there was a notice in the bulletin that Travis and Kathy Piper had volunteered to put on a play at St. Catherine's.
I was in a network group with Travis, and he asked me to try out about 15 years ago, and I went ahead and did that, and I got a part like everybody else. I was Magnifico, the magician. I didn't come on to the third act. I had a few lines to remember. I remember going out when and I was scared to death, to the point where I felt like I was going to faint. And but I persevered, and it was like that for the next few shows. I felt kind of like that. But then after that, I had a lot more of a comfort level from that point forward. So it was like living my childhood all over again when I got to the Schnacky Theater.
Enchanté, Melody Blanquette.
Oh, welcome to Lucky Lady. We're so glad you're here. Let's go spread the news. Come on, Carrie. Come on.
Oh, au revoir. Come again. Bring all your friends. Tell them all about us. Oh, man, am I glad that's over.
So the first year I did Monsignor Schnacky was the year I took off of school. And it was a very wonderful experience. It was the 25th year. And so it was the Galapalooza. First, I was with Marty. And he was the police captain, and I was like a police person as well. And the funny thing with that was that when we caught the bad guy, we said that we were in the room, like, doing surveillance, and I didn't realize that was, like, a naughty thing. Like, I didn't realize that. Like, I had no clue because I'm really innocent. So it was, like, the first Friday, all these people were like, oh, and I'm like, oh, my God, everybody thinks I'm like, ah, you know, so I really freaked out. So that was the freakiest part of my first year. But then I was, like, a singer, so I got to sing different songs, and it was fun. So I was in a plethora of parts.
Carrie, would you like to go for a walk also?
I'm all ears.
All right.
Way out west in a dress, living the future about and rest. Come from New York City, they stop dead gorgeous, and to go pretty as the cactus grows. The ones in French girls, brothers of wit, sings like Charlie Dickens, and the red wings come true. Lucky lady, obeyed its pencil and cricket.
Oh boy, I don't really see any of it as being hard. I love it all. I just love it from start to finish, being part of the family, eating together when we put the stage up, prayer circle. I really don't find any of it difficult.
What's the most rewarding part?
The family, without question. The camaraderie, just the love and the fellowship that you get in this group. Oh, it just gave me a whole new set of friends and acquaintances that I never would have had. And that just leads to more social events and more fun.
I think that I'm a better public speaker as a result of it. I have some really close, dear friends that I really enjoy. Just the whole Schnacky family thing has been, like I said before, it's a real blessing. And, you know, it impacts your life in a lot of different ways. I've gone on vacations with people, and it's just been an awesome experience.
I started my Schnacky journey wanting a child. I didn't have a child the way that I wanted to have a child. So I became a foster parent, and we fostered my son Joey, got him as a little baby, and he was part of the Schnacky family ever since he was born. I mean, he was born December 6, 2007, and that Tuesday he went to a Schnacky play. He went to rehearsal. That journey of being a parent was a very emotional one. It was a very hard one. It was a lot of challenges that I never realized I would ever have or encounter. And the biggest challenge was that because we were foster parents, we knew that there was a good chance that he would go back to his birth mother. During this 2 years, my Schnacky family adopted Joey as their own kid, and he was like the man. He was like their kid. And they were very adamant about praying for Joey, and Kathy especially was just asking everybody to pray for Joey, and she would ask for updates, and she would start tearing up, and she would take Joey and hold him and just kiss him all over, and just, you know, and everybody loved to hold Joey. Joey meant joy. We went to court a lot, and the first time that there was a real threat of him being returned was when he was 4.5 months old, and I had asked my Schnacky family to pray. And I remember I was in the in-family court in the lobby, and I was sitting on a bench against the wall, and I could feel the prayer. I literally felt everybody there. And I said, I'm not losing my son today. I told myself that, and I didn't.
My favorite is when we come downstairs and we gather and we do prayers. And then when Dick goes around and says, it's you. And then he meets us at the bottom of the stairs and gives us a hug and tells us, have a great show. That's my favorite. It's probably everybody's favorite. I think the Schnacky people they just have such a wonderful heart. And they've become my dear friends. And when my husband passed away, they were right there at my house. So that was special.
What did you have in mind, my dear?
Well, I was thinking about having you give me one of those fancy new European styles, like maybe putting it in a tall swirl on the top of my head. Would that look European?
Why, yes, it certainly would. You would look just like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Even this year, I observe more traditions and things that we've just been doing forever that you don't think about, but it's the way we do it, and you begin to see how cultures evolve, whether it's a theater group or a state or a nation or a football team. I mean, it's who's in charge, how do they do things. If everybody likes it, then being humans, we're all going to keep doing the things that we like. And I commend Andrea for stepping up to the plate for keeping things going. I know it was a transition for a couple of years there, but she's certainly got her own stride going now.
This group, this ministry, this thing that we do is necessary for this world, because there's so many things that are so bad that we give our community something to look forward to. And if we really think about it, if we stop doing something like this, that's bad. Because if you stop, then you're not going to have that goodness and light that is so important. I mean, Monsignor gave this group life because of his vision, which is people need to feel connected. And if we stop, doing it, then that connection is lost. It's just, you feel part of something bigger than yourself. You feel it's this feeling in your chest that you just have to stand tall with. You need to say that you're a part of this community because it makes a difference. And you see it. The miracles that happen are amazing just because people care enough about each other. So it's a feeling of accomplishment.
Throughout the 40 years that the Monsignor Schnacky Community Players have been together, over 650 people have been a part of the shows. Once someone becomes a Schnacky, they are always a part of the family, and it's all thanks to Monsignor Schnacky and Kathy and Travis Piper.
This is